Alright, unfortunately I have to do it with my camera, with my phone. But still there's a time for me to actually review this Jaguar F-Pace. Alright, let's take a look around the car, because you can actually see that this is a pretty mean looking F-Pace, right? You can tell that it's sporty. I mean, if you put up the two exhausts, quad exhausts on the back, you can't really tell the huge difference between an SVR, because this is an R Sport, right? It's not a V6, and it's obviously not a V8. It's just a V4, but it generates 300 horsepower. So it's actually quite enough for this car if you don't really want to toss it around and do some crazy stuff with it, right? And about the color combo, it can be doubted obviously, but I think that F-Pace generally can withstand, more funnier type of colors like the light blue, maybe orange, maybe even red. Yeah, obviously the matter of preference and matter of taste, but I think that the black actually looks really good. Alright, we actually had a little bit of rebuild done on this thing. I can't even include the video pictures within the video, so yeah, let me just tell you a little bit more about this car in general and more about this specific one. Well, in general, F-Pace has been released in 2016. On US market, you can see the 2.0 liter diesels, 2.0 liter petrols, which are split into two different types. There's the 25T and the 30T. This one is 30, because you get the same engine, but you get like 53 horsepower more. I think it's really worth buying 30T if you want something fuel efficient. And moreover, like those Ingenium engines, basically, they have done quite a good job. And when you actually drive the car, you can't even really feel that you're driving a V4 unless you hear the engine. And it actually sounds more like a V5 to me, to be honest. But yeah, that's actually it. Let's go a little bit of over badging of the Jaguars. You have the R Sport, you have the Jaguar, obviously Jaguar LED technology, Jaguar Devil, or 360 camera, or another Jaguar, another R Sport, Jag. Yeah, it doesn't have the side steps, otherwise it would have been another Jag. Does it have those? Oh, it doesn't show Jaguar. Because other cars do show Jaguars when you open up the mirror. So let's take a look at the side of the truck. Obviously another Jaguar that shouldn't be doubted. It's reasonably good. I think it's enough. I can't tell you the cubic meters or stuff like that. Alright, let's get into the car. There are some good things and obviously some bad things. What is weird about this car is that it has been released with so many different packages that basically all of them are different. Alright, so look, even though this car has aluminum pedals, so this is R Sport, it has the leather padded dashboard, it has the 360 camera with auto park, although I don't think it's good. It has obviously the LED headlights that we saw before. Hey, by the way, it has the moonroof, which is not only glass, it really opens up and gives you kind of a good experience. Obviously, the steering wheel in general I really enjoyed, although I think that Land Rover steering wheels are more comfy in the hand. But you get the ventilated seats, although they don't really do anything. just support the temperature of the seat mainly. Another Jaguar right here, and I see people putting another Jaguar logo here. So for some people that's obviously not an overkill. Yeah, 4 jacks right here, there and there. So yeah, our Doc has already talked about that quite a lot, so I won't be really over talking about the badges. This is a really shitty stereo. If you buy, you better buy like the 9-inch one, which obviously you know, and also the LED cluster. When you just sit inside that car, it just gives you a totally different experience. You know, it just makes the car at least a couple of years younger, and just, you know, different experience. Just makes you feel more pleased. Makes you feel more pleased. Obviously, we have the standard gear selector of JLR and standard mode select buttons also from JLR. You have the Eco, you have the Auto Start, you have the racing, and yeah, everybody's talking about it. But when you go to the racing mode, the cluster changes itself to red. Yeah, this also gives a little bit of sportiness to it. I was talking about the difference between the packages. This specific one, on this part, it doesn't have the leather, although other ones have, but it has leather on the rest of the dashboard. So what kind of option should this be? To be separately sold, you know, they're obviously about making money. That's why they make so many different options to really mess you up. So I think that's how it goes. All right, what I like about it are those seats, which not only look comfy, but they are extra regulated and extra supportive. You have the lumbar support. Obviously, you have the bolsters on the back, since it's an art sport. They in general just look really cool, and they have the extendable palm rest on top of that. All right. Yeah, still sounds like it before. Let's take it for a little bit of spin, and let's see what it's all about. All right. Here are your cameras. Obviously, they go faulty really soon. When this car arrived, I had to fix some camera damage to it, but it wasn't up this part. You know, I just have driven for around 500 miles so far, and another camera got damaged. So if it continues doing this thing with the same ratio, you can't imagine how many cameras they would really need to be replaced. All right, so you know, let's try like accelerating. Let's talk actually a little bit about the handling part of this car. You know, I feel and I think that when you just drive this car, it has this, I'd say, when you drive something like entry-level V6, you have this power delivery instantly. It doesn't have the lag. It doesn't really makes you feel that turbo is boosting up on around 2000 RPMs. You just push the pedal and it's expected to do what it does. About the gearbox, no complaints at all. This one has the 8-speed gearbox, which is reasonably quick. It's reliable since it's the ZF gearbox. So that's the part about the gearbox. We talked about the engine, about the 4-wheel drive. About the four-wheel drive, this car has like a really great grip. Even if you just floor it and floor it, you can't literally spin it. And experience of driving this car, you know, obviously a lot of people are talking about it being a sports SUV, and it is. It actually drives like a sports SUV should drive. It is quite maneuverable, you know, and you know there are some type of cars that when you sit and when you drive them, they just let you do what you want to do. And this is the one type of those cars, you know, it's always engaging to drive. It's not a relaxed driver at all, although it's reasonably luxurious if you compare it to, let's say, the GLE, or so the same as ML. It's considered to be luxurious. Even if you compare it with the X5, it's still on the same level of luxury. Maybe some parts could be better for Mercedes, some parts could be better for BMW, and some of them for JLR. So yeah, so it's actually based. So actually, Velar is based on F-Pace. So they have the same driving capabilities. Yeah, if anybody was wondering, it's actually the same car. Same engine, same transmission, same suspension, same chassis. I think even chassis is the same. So there's a police, so we can't really floor it at this point. Well, we are in the sports mode. Oh, it actually just turned 68,000 miles. Alright, I just wanted to push here, but you know, I don't want to get fined because it's like around 70 bucks. But we can floor it from here. If I knew, you know, he has someone right there. It's checking him for alcohol, most likely. I mean, it's not that super quick or something, but I think with 300 horsepower, you can just have a little bit of fun from time to time. It's not hard to overtake on highways. It feels safe on higher speeds. But one thing that I don't like in general about SUVs, and especially on this one, you know, the rear end of the vehicle feels kind of separated. You know what I mean? When you go over the bumps, you just think that it's gonna jump and land on a completely different part. But other than that, when you drive it, it more feels like a like a Countryman, I would say. A Countryman, but more luxury version of a Countryman. I'm really interested to even own an SVR, or at least get to drive an SVR, and to compare what kind of differences, because I have like really high expectations. 5-liter compressor. It generates just different amount of forces. So yeah, I'll just floor it once again and then I'll get going. So there's your 60. And there's the car wash. I'm gonna vacuum it and then I'll go home. Thanks if anybody is here and actually just took time to listen to what I was sharing. And rest. Let's talk about rest later. I'm gonna offer you a BMW M550. at this asshole. Piece of shit. Alright.